Thank you very much. Very good morning to everyone here today. I'm very happy to be here to moderate a session on building inclusive communities for vulnerable communities. This group is very important. Sometimes the policymakers ignore this group in their policy making decision. So that's why I think we have to very serious about it and come up with a good suggestion to the government of the day, if you like. Ladies and gentlemen, we have three speakers. May I invite now Dr. Selvi Ganesh from India to be here, please. Dr. Ganesh from India. Madam Camille G. Guambo from Philippines. And our colleague from Malaysia, Dr. Eng Oi Leng. Dr. Ong? Yeah. Dr. Ong is a dentist, you know, who got a dental problem. Please see her. So, very rare to find a professional like a doctor to be part of this social enterprise thing, you know. So I'm very happy today to witness that this even a professional like a doctor also get involved in this so-called social work, if you like. Normally, it's just the academician, and social workers itself. Very rare to see professional to be in, and especially to present a paper. So I'm terribly happy today. Okay, just to tell you the rule of the game. I think each presenter will take 15 minutes for your presentation. We will finish our presentation first and then Q&A. We have until 10:15, I believe, yeah? Yes? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, let me invite our first speaker from India, Dr. Selvish, to present his paper. Please, Doctor. Yeah.
So my presentation starts with a video. I'm Dr. Selvi Ganesh. I'm basically a lawyer. I'm also an academician, and basically I'm an international corporate lawyer. But my heart is there for human rights. So human rights, environmental law, international trade law, all my writings, all my speeches, all my presentation is always the interface of all these three. It's like profit for whom? You make profit with what? The resources, right? So that is environment. You make profit for whom? We have to ask that question all the time. Yeah, my presentation will start with a video. It's actually 1 hour, 20 minutes video, but first 2 minutes, just watch this. You will get a sense of what I'm going to talk about. Yeah.
ஒவ்வொரு நாளும் கோடிக்கணக்கான மக்கள் உருவாக்குற டன் கணக்கான கழிவுகளை அகற்ற சமூகத்தோட ஒரு பகுதி மக்களை அதுக்குனே ஒதுக்கி வச்சிருக்கிற கேடுகட்ட சமூகத்தோட உறுப்பினர்களாகிய நாம ஒரு நாளாவது வேணாம் ஒரு நொடியாவது மிக மோசமான கழிவுகளை வெறும் கைகளால் சுத்தம் செய்யற துப்புரவு பணியாளர்களை நின்று கவனிச்சிருப்போமா? ஊர் மக்களோட கண்ணில் கூட அந்த கழிவுகள் பற்றக்கூடாதுன்னு அதிகாலையில நட்ட நடு ராத்திரியில உச்சி வெயில்ல கொட்டு மழையிலன்னு நாம வெளியேற்றுற கழிவுகளை அல்றதையே வாழ்க்கையாக கொண்ட பெரும் மக்கள் கூட்டத்தை உருவாக்கி அவங்களோட கௌரவத்தையும் சுதந்திரத்தையும் கொஞ்சமா குற்ற உணர்வு இல்லாம மறுத்து வாரோமே, நாமெல்லாம் நாகரிகமானவங்க தானா? தீண்டாமையை கடைபிடிக்கிறது தண்டனைக்குரிய குற்றம்னு 1950 இந்திய அரசியலமைப்பு சட்டம் சொல்லிடுச்சு. ஆனா சாதியின் பேரால புனிதம் தீட்டுங்கிற அயோக்கியத்தனமான கோட்பாடுகளின் அடிப்படையில மலக்குழிக்குள்ளும் சாக்கடைக்குள்ளும் சக மனுஷங்களை தள்ளி இருக்கிற நிலப்பிரபுத்துவ அடக்குமுறையின் குறியீடான இந்த வன்கொடுமை தான் இந்த உலகத்தின் மாபெரும் தீண்டாமை.
Yesterday the whole day I have been attending various sessions, and you also have attended sessions. So every session was telling you how much it has been achieved. There were statistics on what they have done, how many years they have done, and all those things. And here I am. What can be done? What could be done? And what should be done? That's what I'm going to talk about. It's been last 15 years in various forums, whether it is environmental justice, whether it is human rights forum, every forum I've been going, and I'm talking and I'm bringing the plight of these people out there. And it's been 15 years, nothing has changed. I have no statistics to show that these many people have been redeemed. These many people have been, to given some other alternate jobs. No, nothing is done. It's zero. As our brother James and brother Anthony was teaching us that song, they were saying, cross the ocean, cross the sea, and do it. I have crossed ocean and have come here to tell you, seek your support, seek your sympathy, to empathy for the people, that we could work together to redeem the people who are, without any dignity. There's no dignity in what they're doing. If you see this, it's moving for me. But in many of the conferences in India, when I show this, they look at me as if, that I'm doing something strange. Why is she talking about them? Because they are dehumanized humans. So their human dignity has to be restored. We, the United Nations, in the UN, defines human dignity should be for all. And we have been talking about sustainable development. What is sustainable development? There are various definitions given since yesterday. This is the definition. Sustainable development is a commitment. It's an aspiration towards building a humane, equitable, and a caring society. The society includes all of us, the corporates, the professionals, not just the social workers. So everyone should care. This involves, sustainable development involves economic development, social development, and environmental protection. All three should go hand in hand. So it also says it seeks to realize rights of all human beings. When you say all human beings, whether they are included in this, that is a question. Now yesterday my brother from India, Kumar Asafa, his organization is Sarvodaya. Sarvo means all. Daya means compassion. Right? But in that Sarvo, in that all, whether these humans are there, that is my question. There are several NGOs, hundreds of NGOs. How many of them work for them? Very few, they work for them, and I work with them, trying to get something out of it. but we all hit the wall. At the end of it, is the caste problem, madam, they'll say. This is the problem of caste. Okay, there ends. No solution yet found. So I have come here to find a solution for them. It's not about, it's a problem, yes. So why this problem is persisting in India? My paper has two parts. The first part talks about why this problem is persisting, why it is continuing, why the status quo is maintained, why it is not being solved. That is my first part. The second part, I'm trying to bring solution. So what are the solutions available? What could be done and how it can be done? So it is not there in my country's agenda, because they already said manual scavenging is prohibited and there is no manhole death. That is a report they are giving. But in actually, there are so many deaths happening daily, which is being hidden or not shown. Because when we go to international forum, we always show a rosy picture of India, how great we are, right? So the first reason is socio-religious. Yeah, next this thing. So our SDG should be used to redeem and restore human dignity of manual scavengers through the implementation of SDG. This is the place where in Chennai, it is a Pallikarnai. It's a photo of Pallikarnai. This is a beautiful place where the migratory birds come. And this is the very place where dump the entire cities, what do you call, garbage. Yeah. First is socio-religious. We have divided the society at the society into four. So this is strictly maintained, and the four caste and the below, the last one is the fifth one. They are the outcast. They are made to do this work, and they are not able to go up in the hierarchy. Yeah. Next. What is this? Yeah. This is the three: socio-religious, hyper-consumerism, and the societal, administrative, and judicial apathy. This is, I'm going back, huh? Okay. So this is a socio-religious. This is a very religious place, Ganges. This is the apathetic way of putting the things there, because there is a caste people, outcasted people are there to clean it. So they have the right to throw it, anything indiscriminately. We all use, in the morning we get up, we brush our teeth. We have the tube. We ladies, we put our lipstick. We use a case. It's all thrown in the dustbin. We don't know where it goes. So all these things lands up in the garbage. All the water that we drink, so there's a water bottle here, so it will go into the garbage. Your Coke, Pepsi, and all kind of drinks. And it is all thrown indiscriminately all over India. So this is the Pallikarani. I showed you the migratory birds come. So this is where, this is 1,800 acres of land, of marshland, and that is being dumped. In one generation, this marshland will be destroyed. So this is, you can still see some birds here. So this is how much we have filled in. So now we have this, I showed you the documentary, Kakus. So this girl who took this documentary, she had a death threat, and she had to run away, and she had to go into hiding because she took this documentary, right? They don't want to show it, that something happened. Okay, so there are so many manhole deaths, which is not, this judicial apathy. In the judges who seated at the top are the top class, the priesthood people who are sitting there. They have never interacted with anybody on the ground. They do not know. All the judgments, if you read, they blame them. They tell them they are lazy people, they are not cleaning the city. And they are saying the municipality should give public health. The people are sitting around the garbage dump, they complain. They filed a case. And they are saying, the judge is saying, you have to provide a clean environment. Provide provide scavenging services. Now, who will do scavenging? Manually it is done. It is not done by machine in India. The stench and everything is, somebody who's living few meters away. But this person has to take it with his hand. Okay, for him, it is not a stench. For him, it is not, he is not a human at all.
Dr. Selvi,
Right.
you may conclude now, if you don't mind. Yeah.
So coming to, I have not even started. So what are the remedies? Now I'm coming, what are the remedies? Dr. Ambedkar, he was the architect of our constitution. Okay, he said, to annihilate this caste, you have to annihilate the religion itself. But is it possible to annihilate? No, it could not. It cannot be done. So what can be done? We can use strict enforcement of international environmental law principles, right? Which is in favor, that has to be done. And sensitizing people, and I have to say, we can use alternate, instead of using our sanitary napkins, all our, because we take it out, we ourselves don't touch it once it is out of our body. Can I have 2 more minutes?
I mentioned 1 minute just now.
Okay, so this can be alternative. The machine which you say there, this is an incineration machine. If the entire body can be incinerated on death, this is a small pad which can be incinerated, so that will reduce the amount of garbage going into the mixed garbage. Then this is black soldier fly larva. This eats up everything organic. So instead of putting all this organic waste into the waste, we can breed this black soldier fly larva. This is the thing to reduce. That becomes a fodder for fisheries and poultry. Then this poultry, it consumes 4 million tons of soy meal and 12 million tons of maize, which can be fed into this, and its feather can be used as textile, because all the chicken feathers goes into the waste. So that can be made as a business.
Okay, Dr. Selvi.
Coconut shell, it can be made, many things, right?
Yeah.
And
Sorry, I have
fine,
to
plastic
stop.
recycle. Now,
Yeah.
the polluter pays principle. Who is the polluter? We'll identify and make the polluter face, instead of the life is being paid by this.
Okay, time's up. Thank you very much. Okay. Anyway, thank you, Dr. Selvi. Dr. Selvi, actually, her research focus on human rights, international trade and environment, but she's now more on social entrepreneurship as a tool to solve this marginalized people. That is in brief what she has been doing. Yeah, the topic just now actually redeeming and restoring human dignity of manual workers in India through the implementation of SDGs. We are actually talking about SDGs, so don't forget. Yeah. So anyway, thank you very much. Let me now invite second speaker, Camila G. Guambo from Philippines. The topic is Yakan Waving Peace and Solidarity, case study of Baja Weavers Association. Over to you.
Thank you, Dato.
Yeah, you are a teacher.
Hello.
Huh? A teacher. Primary school.
Preschool teacher, yeah.
Very rare to find a preschool teacher present the papers, So please, over to you.
Thank you for the introduction, Dato. Salamat pagi. Good morning, everyone. Pagi. My name is Camille, and I'd like you to meet my new friend. Her name is Norma. She's an extraordinary woman who's able to overcome life's challenges despite the life-threatening odds with grace and resilience. Norma had polio when she was a child. That's why she couldn't walk. Other than that, she's living in an area that is suffering from armed conflict. So there is war between the rebel groups, extremist groups, and the Philippine military. Despite these life-threatening conditions, it did not stop Norma from pursuing her creativity and artistry. In a span of 2 to 3 days, she can create these beautiful hand-woven fabric, like the one I'm wearing, with great detail and hard work. Aside from a form of her self-expression, it's also her way of supporting her family financially. Norma's story is just one of the many inspiring stories of the weavers from the Badja Weavers Association, and it's my great honor and privilege to share that with you today. Okay, so Badja Weavers Association is located in Badja Village, Tipo-Tipo, Basilan in Mindanao, Philippines. As you can see on the map, Basilan is one of the poorest provinces in our country. Because of the decades of war, about 5 decades already, the people are suffering from immense poverty, among many other issues. It has the lowest literacy rate, highest mortality of infants and pregnant women, lowest life expectancy rate, and the most impacted population are the vulnerable ones, women and children. At the moment, Basilan is in the process of reclaiming peace. They're trying to recover. And Badja Weavers Association, as an SSE entity, is trying to support this goal, to help the people reclaim a life of dignity and hope. So what I'll share with you today are 3 of the most strongest SSE principles that I've observed in the organization based on my case study. The first one is engaged in economic activity. The organization started with the goal of passing on the cherished tradition of hand weaving to the next generation. But when the community discovered that, hey, there's an opportunity to earn a living from our arts and crafts, the goal has expanded. So now, their product are these yakan tenun, that's what we call it. They're made of bold, contrasting colors, different patterns, different shapes, that symbolizes the living traditions, the culture, the rich heritage of the Yakan people. Another SSE principle is that there's primacy of people over profit. The organization gives equal importance to profit and its social mission, which is to uplift the lives of the weavers, to improve their well-being as well as their families. Those are some of the weavers during one of their meetings. Most of them did not finish primary or secondary schooling. Why is that? Either because of early forced marriage, or they were internally displaced because of the war. There is an alternative learning system of the Philippine government. It's giving a second chance to adults to study again, to finish their schooling. However, before, it was quite difficult for them to balance work with studies because they're farmers or working as household helps, so they have to go outside, work in the farm or in another's house. But when they discovered weaving as a source of income, they can work at the comfort of their own homes or inside the weaving center, which was formed in partnership with the local government unit of Basilan. So now the women are studying. It's easier for them to work while they are in school. Another principle is contribution to decent work and SDGs. Starting off with the most obvious one, SDG 11, Sustainable Communities, in particular 11-4, which is protecting the culture and heritage of such communities. In the photo, you can see the mother teaching her 9-year-old child how to make the yakan tenun. Whenever a weaver shows to a child how to do this art, they explain to the young ones how it is reflective of the Yakan indigenous people's way of living. The different colors, the different patterns, the different shapes, when woven tightly together, it makes this phenomenal masterpiece. Just like the Yakan people, they are embracing diversity, they are peace-loving, They are cooperative, they're harmonious. And once these values are inculcated in the minds of the children, it strengthens their identity, it makes them proud of their roots, and because children are catalysts of change, they can influence their family members, their peers, and their entire community. As a result, it can lessen the risks of division and war in the area. Another SDG goal is the first one, eradication of poverty, which is aligned to decent work and economic growth. One of the biggest challenges before of the weavers is the presence of abusive middlemen. Since these people are living in a very rural area, it's hard for them to connect to customers. So they have no other option but to sell their weaves for as low as $1.50. That's about 7 Malaysian ringgit. Imagine 1 meter for $1.50, made with blood, sweat, and tears for about 2 to 3 days, right? And the middlemen, sadly, sell these tenun to a nearby city called Zamboanga for 6 times more. And when it reaches even farther areas like Greater Manila or abroad, it's at least times 12. But the weavers, the artisans who created this fabric, they're getting a very small fraction of the cost. And they're not even recognized as the creators. So when the people were thinking, the weavers were thinking, how do we overcome this problem? What they did is they mobilized themselves. They came together. They formed the Badja Weavers Organization. And when they became formally registered last year, it became easier for them to connect directly to the consumers, to private corporations, and to other individuals. This is little by little eradicating the need for them to rely on middlemen. So SSE is introducing them to an alternative way of doing business. They're becoming entrepreneurs, and they're saying that there's a way of doing business which is fair and just for both the consumers and the producers. Another SDG, I'll explain this one. So in connection to decent work, this is one of the biggest achievements by far of the organization. A big university partnered with them. They committed to buying the Yakan Tenun so that their students could wear it during their graduation. And whenever they purchase the weave, there's a card with a handwritten note with the name of the weaver. And when the weavers saw it, they're very happy upon knowing that people outside their community are appreciating and wearing their products. It makes them feel proud because they're recognized as artisans, and it motivates them to get better at their craft. Okay, here's the next goal, reducing inequality, specifically gender inequality. In some areas of Basilan, they're still practicing early marriage and child bride. But because weaving is keeping the girls in school, it is empowering them. It is amplifying their voices to say no to this very harmful patriarchal practice. So overall, what I saw in my case study is that Badja Weavers Association is using the strength of the Yakan people to help them improve their lives, to solve their problems. And we can see that when vulnerable people come together, become active agents of change, become in charge of their own lives instead of merely waiting for charity, it creates an inclusive community. In a sense that everyone, each individual gets an equal opportunity to lead a life that is free, peaceful, and just. So thank you so much for listening. Terima kasih.
Okay, thank you very much. Is it camellia or cameli? Camel, huh? But in Malaysia, we call it camellia, you know.
Okay, that's my name here.
Thank you very much. Very interesting. Talking about SDG, especially number one, poverty, exploitation by middlemen, and also come up with a strategy to change, among the group involved. I think that is very interesting and very important. Thank you once again. The third speaker would be Dr. Ng Oi Leng from Malaysia. This is also very rare, he's a dental surgeon, now presenting a paper on something, building inclusive community for vulnerable communities. Over to you, Dr. Ng.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I will share from here. Yeah, good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here to hear us. I was really touched by our previous speakers. Yeah, thank the Lord. This topic will be embracing migrants and refugees in Malaysia. Through our El Shaddai model, El Shaddai Center Berhad is an NGO that is faith-based, basically Christian-based NGO that deals, or rather that helps exclusively refugees, migrants, and stateless people in Malaysia, which means that our beneficiaries are basically most foreigners, yeah? They are not Malaysians. So we exclusively deal with this group of vulnerable people. Diaspora situations in Malaysia, maybe we need to just know some statistics. We have many migrant workers, so legal ones maybe around 2 million, but we also have a lot of irregular migrants in Malaysia. So the figure, nobody knows exactly, but then we know that there are also many, not just in West Malaysia, but also in Sabah. Yeah, and refugees and asylum seekers, recognize those with UNHCR registration and cards, about 180,000. But they come from 50 different nations. And also in 2025, our Ministry of Higher Education's what you call projection for students will be 250,000 in our institutions. So they come from more than 100 nations. So we know that we have many foreigners that are actually staying in Malaysia. So, of course, today we're not talking about international students because they are not the marginalized ones. But I think irregular migrants, economic migrants and refugees are quite marginalized in Malaysia. And also their children that are here, they have no access to education and health care. No access to, subsidized healthcare and other quite basic amenities. So today we talk about building inclusive society. We're talking about leaving no one behind. So what El Shaddai is trying really very hard to do is to reach those that are left, I would say, furthest behind, in our nation. So we believe that everyone that dwells in our land has the right indeed to be taken care of. Yeah, in ways. So the El Shaddai ecosystem, we try to provide holistic, integral approach to empower communities. So our work can roughly be divided into 4 different areas: social work, education, economic, and environment. Though the environment projects are not that many because it's really quite not easy for one organization to deal with, but we have quite a bit of progress in social work, education, economic. Of course, in the center of it is the cause of our success, or rather make possible, is the fact of partnership. So then holistic approach to community empowerment, we believe we are advancing several SDGs. 1, 4, 16, 17 is just some of it. Yeah, and through our faith, we know that if you want to deal with poverty, we know that the root of poverty is actually, a lot of time we think that you are poor because you have no money, or you have no resources, or you have no, access to things. But actually, when we look clearly, carefully at the root cause is actually talking about absence of shalom, due to broken relationship. So we realize in Genesis 3, at least it says that, from Prof. Brian L. Malsto, his studies, he said that people are poor because their relationship with their creator is broken, their relationship with themselves is broken, with others and with creation is broken. You just imagine if a child has no document, and he comes from a parentage that is not Malaysian, but he is born here, and he doesn't really know who he is, and he has no identity. So this actually creates issues and problems, self-image, self-confidence, and belongings. These are big issues which eventually I think we really need to look into. Yeah, so we talk about El Shaddai providing education through our best efforts to people who to children who cannot go to school. So we have a pathway from preschool to primary to secondary, and then to also diplomas. And this year, I must say that we actually are able to have students graduating from a Bachelor of Arts, computer software engineering, all through online process after the IGCSE. So our school is, today we reached up to about 2,000 students, and we have no school building because our school is spread out in many different areas, and so we work together also with community teachers. So today, I think our empowering thing can be seen from the number of teachers that we have. So for the 2,000 students, we have about 100 and maybe 10 teachers, but out of that, about 45% are actually our ex-students, whom we have groomed and trained and fill in, and they become teachers in the schools. So these are secondary school, and the online courses, diploma courses. So what we offer is like health and social care. So we provide we provide trainings for caregivers, and so they are quickly absorbed into care homes because these are greatly in need jobs. Yeah, IT, so that they can do work online because they cannot be officially employed. In the companies, but they can work online. So some of these things that we can do to help them get across. So we have partnership with local communities to start new centers in Kota Baru, in Kuantan, in Sabah too. Yeah, in Sabah among the stateless people. Okay, so we also work in partnership with existing local community learning centers. There are many communities who have tried to have their own learning centers, like the Rohingyas, they have their own madrasas, and the Afghanistan learning center, the Somali centers. So we put in our curriculum, we put in our teachers to help them, and so that they can raise the standard of their teachings and sustain the school. Yeah, very importantly, because of the trust that we have made with the communities. And so parents are willing to pay more school fees. I mean, more means like maybe 50 ringgit a month or 70 ringgit a month. That is for a Cambridge syllabus, you know. So our students go on to sit for the international IGCSE exam because they cannot sit for the Malaysia exam. And so with this trust built, and so parents are willing to send their children, and they are able to go. So we have other non-academic education like skill training, children, community protection program, mental health, and sports and all those, yeah. 2022, we were the recipient of Junior Chamber Quality Education Award. And in our social work, we do safe placements, especially for rescue girls, single mothers and all that. We place them in the shelters. And so we have also community placement program where after we build trust with the community, so if a vulnerable person can be placed within the community with supervision, but then they don't have to be taken out to be placed in shelters. So this is one preferred thing that we need so that they can be there. So community development process brings people together, first step, because we know that these displaced communities, a lot of time, they don't trust each other. If within their community, they have many fractions and many leaders, so anyone that can speak English can become a leader and have a small group of followers. So our work first is to bring them together, empower them to be resilient, and expect them to plow back and care for their own community. So that's where the social work is. So today, Asha deals with more than 20 different nations, yeah, they are in Malaysia. And so some key indicators of social work, we do shelter persons at risk, we do case management, community-based protection, people, or rather connects that we have appointed. So for very immediate or urgent needs, we have provisional aids or financial intervention. So students are taught child protection, and also most important, I think we are starting to do this more, is to register birth for children who have no documentation. So our social work also received awards in last year, yeah. So for economic process for economic activities, we have the Afghan Sewing Center. So Afghanistan people or refugees are known to be good tailors, very skilled tailors. So the Afghan Sewing Center is run 100% by men, and it's also run 100% by themselves. So our job is just to set up the center, but they are the operators, they are the one who make the money, but they are the one who plow back to the organization 10 or 15% for rainy days, and then the rest of them, they share among themselves. And so we are trying to train the women, but the women folks' quality is not there, so they probably have to work hard and create those volume. But whereas for men, they tailor designer clothes, yeah, and sell. So you have Life to Life Yummy Bites. These are sheltered girls. Girls in our shelter, they are trained how to bake and how to cater food.
5 more minutes, Doctor.
Okay. So we have air conditioning and refrigeration service training and business enterprise. So the training comes under the organization, but they cannot, a lot of them, they just can't go out and find a job, but they can. But then, of course, they wouldn't be paid as market rate. That's one, because companies are also afraid to take them. They are like illegal, you don't have document, so that's very difficult part of it. But we start business with them and say that come and let's work together. So the one way to go off is that they are forever interns, which means that as an interns, okay, you are quite safe, yeah. So, but they become skilled people. So one of our students who graduate with this, because they are awarded a level 2 diploma from UK after the training. So this refugee resettled to Australia, and he continued his education in this aspect, and so he's now graduating with refrigeration, Bachelor of as a refrigeration technical engineering or something like that. And so he can carry on and continue his education in Australia. We have an urban fish farm, small scale, but actually it's good training for refugees as well as self-sustaining in ways, though it's small scale. So our Life to Life Yummy Bud also received Green Project Management Sustainability Leadership Award this year, just January. So for environmental projects, that's why I'm very interested in the plastic pyrolysis from our Thai friend. So, but we do not yet have a lot of projects on this. So at the heart of the ecosystem is partnership for sustainability. So El Shaddai works with all faith communities, not just with Christians, but also Islamic organizations, as well as Buddhist organizations too. We work with UNHCR, UNICEF, but we work very closely also with embassies, like the Indonesian embassy, the Philippines embassies in Sabah, and we also work with the Cambodian embassies for children who are born here without documentation. Professionals, corporate companies, colleges, and universities. We work with everyone who is interested and wanting to really come and contribute something. So the school is able to be run because of the contributions of everyone. Yeah. And this is our very quick, just Indonesian story. In 2018, we discovered a big community in some place in Klang. So we started a learning center, and the parents are very interested, and so we are all coming together. Yeah, and the learning center runs very quickly. So within a few years, we registered about 300 Indonesian descent students, and the embassy comes to know about it. And so we signed MOU with them to, they are very grateful that we are actually helping their children to get education. And from there, we launched the Sanggar Bimbingan, because we are also trying to arrange for these children to return to Indonesia. And so we teach them Bahasa Indonesia and also the Indonesian Pancasila, and registered last year about 115 students, so preparing them so that they can actually return and continue their education if their parents wants to. Imagine I have one family, an Indonesian family with 6 kids in the school, and they are all no document. So I say, you have to hurry up, because if your parents still around, we still can register you. Imagine if your parents are not around, if you as parent you died, and and you leave your kids, what's going to happen to them?
Yeah, please conclude.
So thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. We have heard 3 speakers from India, from Philippines, and from Malaysia. They all talk about firstly on the human right and dignity of these people in the context of SDG. Secondly, on this special group of waving community, issue of their human right, inclusive education, and also how to overcome the poverty, right? That is more important. That is SDG number 1. And then the last speaker, Dr. Ng Oi Leng from Malaysia, talk about refugees and migrants. Also very important. I must say that in Malaysia now, we propose the concept of Madani. Actually, Madani concept is an inclusive concept. When you talk Madani, it's not only for Malaysian. Those residing in Malaysia should be part of that in the plan. In the plan, I said in the plan, yeah? Not only that, separate from the plan. So when, for example, next 5-year plan is the 13th Malaysia plan. So in 13th Malaysia plan, when you use the term or concept of Madani, you must take care of everybody residing in Malaysia in the plan. In the plan, for example, what would be the policy to bring these refugees and migrants into the mainstream? Not only to send them to Vietnam or to Australia or what, So that's the thing that I remember now, that when we talk about Madani, that should be part of and parcel of the plan. So Madani actually want us to be inclusive, equality, of course human right, regardless your race, your gender or what, yeah. So we are all should be treated equally. So if you are poor, doesn't matter whether what skin are you should be treated equally, and that should be part and parcel of the policy in the plan, not separately. Sometimes it is not in the plan, but the politicians talk about it. But they talk about it, there is no budget. Yeah, there is no budget because there is no allocation for that, because it's not actually stated in the plan. So what I'm saying that we must put that in part and parcel in the plan, part of the policy of Malaysian policy, then actually you can implement. But anyway, thank you very much.